Revenge, tentacles, and pudding. I know this sounds weird, but all three of these things have one thing in common. Let me explain. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and address a couple characters that are actually vital to the story and also important to the character I'm about to unbox as well. Now, briefly talked about Shuma's siblings, but I never actually explained much of who they were, if I remember correctly. So, Stomp Company was ran by Shuma's family, but in the modern time, now they're ran by the 5 siblings of the Stomp Company. You have Nelev, who is in charge of research. He's the 3rd child, if I remember correctly. Then the twins, they're Shita and Jeep. They are in charge of procurement. Then, of course, you have the Whipcracker, who's in charge of production. Glota, the oldest sister. She is a powerhouse. Then we have the CEO and the person that runs the day-to-day operations, which is Lango. Lango is the oldest sibling and by far the most powerful one out of all 5 siblings. Now, the reason why they're so important is because they are, like I said, in charge of the Stomp Company. They are the reason why dark candy has been so popular amongst granite society and why people have gone missing over the years. 20 years to be exact, actually. Well, at least we're aware of. We know that the Stomp Company goes back farther than that because of one of Shuma's relatives that doesn't want him dead, Uncle Date, is one of the founding members. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, Nelev has been working with Dr. Suga. They've been swapping information with one another, helping out each other with their scientific endeavors and all their inventions. In fact, Nelev is the reason why Dr. Suga is able to modify and turn Honto into Kamen Rider Vram, because he's the one that provided the granute organ that allows him to transform, as well as get the data that he needs, because he's also doing his own project. From there, Nelev is actually introduced to the idea of Shuma's powers of transforming by using human food to actually use his full power. This gives him an idea. But before we get into that, let's talk about a specific granute in particular. One night in the granute world, a random jellyfish-like granute attacks a stall that's selling dark candy. One of the minions wasn't having any of it, so they black bag him and take him back to the Stomp Company. From there, we're already at this point where they're looking for more part-timers, and we just so happen to black bag a new recruit. The new guy in question, they codename him Raggy9, but you come to find out later on in the show, his name is Lakia, or Rakia. And my translation that I saw from the subtitles called him Rakia, but another one calls him Lakia. So for now, we're just going to call him Lakia for now. Cool? Cool. Lakia has been modified by Nelev to, of course, capture people with his gav tongue, but he also has another special ability that's native to himself. See, most of the granutes are based off of animals that we see in our world. He just so happens to be like a jellyfish, tentacles and everything. This is important. While he's working for the Stomp Company, everybody knows you have to get good emotions from people in order to have the best quality of materials, so you can actually extract the good stuff to make dark candies better. Rakia, like I said, being a jellyfish, has the ability to disperse tentacles out of his body and infect people to the point he can force them to be happy. Now imagine doing this on a wide scale where he clears out an entire courtroom, movie theater, and almost an entire college, but we'll talk about the college scene later. Afterwards, he is paid with dark candy, but instead of eating them or fiending for them like a normal granute does when they're hooked on the stuff, he just throws it away, because you come to find out he's on a mission. He's not there to work to earn dark candy. He's there to hunt down some information. Long story short, just like Shuma and just like Honto, he's lost a family member. His little brother, to be exact. Kumar was his pride and joy, the only family he had left. They lived a quiet life together, but it was a good life. Coomer was a good kid to the point where if he saw like somebody drop money, he would help them. He does things because it's right. But one day, Coomer started acting weird, and come to find out he's been stealing money from Lakia so he can try dark candies. He got addicted. They got into a fight, and Coomer ran away. A year later, after that happened, Coomer came home and tried to make amends and apologize to his brother. But unfortunately, he died in Lakia's arms. Turns out, because he couldn't go through with what he was doing with the dark candies, he was executed. Ever since then, Lakia has been trying to figure out who killed his brother and why. So in order to get information, he started working for the Stomp family to actually figure out what happened. His good deeds have got him seen by Nelev, who's also working on his own device, because like I said earlier, Dr. Suga introduced the idea of using food from our world to transform. And the thing he decides to use is pudding. So, where are we at this point? Like I said, Shuma and Honto are currently going after one granute. But mysteriously, a man in black, that just so happens to be Lakia in his human form, attacks them both. Then from there, we're introduced to Kamen Rider Vram, equipped with the Vram system gear, which is a special driver-like belt that he puts on his stomach, or gaff, depending on how you want to look at it, and transform using a pudding cup. Now, I know that sounds weird, but to be fair, this whole show has been using food the entire time to transform, and it's really not that bad, but the suit kinda goes hard. It looks like he's wearing a tactical vest and tactical gear with a metal frame. When I say he is on pure demon time in disrespect, the stuff he does to Shuma and Honto in his first outings are crazy. Case in point, he kicks Valen across the room, then after that slides in front of him, looks at him like, is that all you got? Then when Valen tries to get up, he turns, sits on his back, and plants Valen's face into the ground. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I was not aware of your game. And then from there, he just makes Valen his personal punching bag. Because after they separate, Shuma goes after the granute that's causing the issues, while Valen tries to fight Lakia. Lakia is got the upper hand until Valen says the vital words that sealed his fate. Do you work for the Stomachs? Are you one of their family members? Which caught Vram off guard because Valen was able to punch him in the face from that. Then from there, the translation that I saw, exact words were, "You think I'm part of that family? How fucking dare you?" And proceeds to unload everything into Valen. I'm like, sir, it's not that. Oh, he almost killed him. And if it wasn't for Shuma, he probably would have. But now we come back to the college scene. At this point in time, Vram is on a warpath. Valen unfortunately is KO'd, so he's actually out right now. The only person that could actually stand a chance to fight him is Shuma, but unfortunately Shuma is not able to go full power against him because Lakia does not give him any chance to breathe. So much so that he prevents him from putting on his super form to actually even survive the fight. They get into it. Shuma reveals that he's half human and half granute, and also explains that he's been trying to stop the actual granutes from doing what they do in our world. That gets the idea that Shuma has been killing granutes left and right, and he thinks that Shuma is the one that killed his brother. He explains that's not the case. He talks him down, literally uses talk no jutsu to calm down Vram, and says maybe we should work together. We can figure this out, but you have to stop taking people. And it looks like it doesn't work for a while because he's like, since you're not a part of them, just to cover my tracks, I'm going to kill you anyway. But he manages to get talked down and leave. From there, him and Shuma start working together slowly but surely. Shuma has to get him to realize we're going through the same thing you're going through. You're looking for answers for your little brother, just like how people are looking for answers for all the people that have been abducted. You're just like them, and you know how it feels to lose people to mysterious circumstances. So because of that, Lakia realizes, I need to actually do better. So he helps Shuma. They actually break into the granite world, like get back a lot of the candy presses that were taken away, and everything's cool. Until it isn't. But we'll talk more about that part later. Till then, let's bust open this box, shall we? Got my trusty on me. I've been holding onto this box for a minute. Been beat up. There we go. Yeah, I probably should just like start unboxing this one first before we actually do all the character breakdown. Because I feel like I've got this into a point where it's like formulaic. Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, and of course other configure of being, I present to you Kamen Rider Vram. You know, looking at it, the tactical vest looks more like candy corn than actual pudding, but meh. Here's the character himself. He has a bow and arrow that also doubles as a, follow me on this one, chainsaw scythe. Huh? And you know, like always, we're going to cut open both sides of the box, and we're done with the knife. So, I really like the color that they used. You can see like the caramel and everything for the brown. It looks really good. Of course, we have the instructions on the side. And the figure in question. Now, I don't think this one came with any extra parts for Shuma, which I'm all here for, because let's be honest, I feel like we do that all the time. I think I've already addressed that I don't like when figures don't come, like, I don't like the idea of figures not coming with everything, and you have to buy another figure just to actually get said thing for said figure. But anyway. Wait a minute. This doesn't have any plastic on it? Oh. That's... I don't have to pull you apart. Yay! Okay, so this is the Vram gear. Normally, this is up. This is where the capsule would go, up top. The door would open and show that. Let's see. Ooh, nice articulation in the arm. Looks like he's wearing clogs. Actually, I think those are clogs. A little stiff. To be expected, it's been in a box for a while. The good bend. One of the few riders that doesn't pick as his signature much. I mean, he has one, but his first signature move that I see him do was drop a giant capsule of pudding on top of somebody, then punch them when the tentacles come out, if I remember correctly. Interesting. But yeah. He's got spoons up here. Alright. I like the color. I really do. The paint for this actually looks really nice. Everything for his signature move is used through here. Through the flip the switch and how he transforms. Alright. Not bad. Now, give me a second. I'm going to put his weapon on. Okay, that actually went in easier this time around. I was trying to get better at that. But, before I call the problem and drop all the fists, let's see. So, this is bow and arrow. He has a trigger pull that I can swap out, but remember how I said it also had a secondary function as a chainsaw / scythe? So, before he became, well, a nightmare for Shuma and the rest of the granutes. He used to be a miner, so him having a pickaxe-like weapon actually fits perfectly. Perfectly honest with you, I was kind of expecting the scythe/bow to be a little bigger. Either way, still sick. So imagine having this just coming at you. There's actually 3 forms that he has. He has this form, of course, then a jelly one, and his faunal form. Won't talk about that one, but I'll talk about his jelly form. So, while Nellis still thought that he was working for him before he betrayed him, he gave him a jelly capsule, which allows him to, and I quote, stop his heart so it can become like a ghost and become invisible and intangible. It literally looks like tentacles grab inside of his body and grab him by his heart and stops it. It's extremely painful. He only uses that like when he necessarily has to, but oh god. Luckily, he stopped. Like I said, he only used that after, like, what, a couple times? Either way. But, yeah. This isn't a bad figure. I was kind of expecting something different, but no. Vram is actually really cool. Now, the next figure that I'm getting from SH Figuart or Premium Bandai is going to be another Shuma figure, but it's another form. What is it? Well, I hope you like cake. See ya. Oh, forgive me. After I did all the editing, I thought I'd just come and relax. Didn't realize I kind of drifted. But if you're new here, why don't you subscribe? I have a lot of new content coming down the road. But if you've been here before, here's a random playlist of something I've done, and the most recent thing I've done here too. Take care.